we're back. Nick, you weren't ready, man.
Sometimes you just gotta be unpredictable and act like you're writing stuff down. I do that all the time when you walk by my desk. I act like I'm typing, just watching videos on YouTube.
I see that.
Listening into podcasts. The Fighter and the Kid or whatever. Just kidding.
That's Darren, yeah, Fighter and the Kid.
Sorry, Darren.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We are back.
Everyone?
Nick, where were you last weekend?
I was at the ICPL at the Badlands for some 10-man mechanical action, and it was awesome. A lot of fun stuff happened there. You're going to be seeing a lot of cool stuff on Go Sports, even though Go Sports was not there live. Arthur and Maddie were there. Maddie, that bastard, suited up and played 10-man with Cap. I've been trying to get him to play paintball with me forever.
Did he tell you he was doing that?
No, I didn't even know they were showing up. I just, all of a sudden, we're at the captain's meeting. We're jumping ahead of ourselves here. At the captain's meeting, I turn and I see Arthur. And I'm like, Arthur, what are you doing here? It's like, I'm here for Go Sports. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And he's like, yeah, Maddie and I just got here. I was like, oh, Maddie's here too. And Maddie's like, yeah, bro, I'm playing with Cap. Okay, you can kick rocks.
Yeah, you've been trying for years. So I like it.
Yeah. But I was there. Did you go anywhere?
I was in England at the CPPS.
You were Pikey Steve.
I was Pikey Steve. Pikey Steve was in England last weekend, sick as a dog. It was a great weekend. It was sunny on Saturday, warm. Sunday was overcast, no rain till the very end of the day, so it was a great weekend.
Nice.
A lot of our teams did well, so we'll get into that as well. But it was a great weekend for paintball everywhere. Yeah. And I can't wait to hear. I've heard a lot of the stories from the ICPL, a couple of incidents.
There were some good ones. I got some stories to tell. One thing we do want to say, though, to all of the people out there, especially all the veterans that served in World War II, is a happy 75th anniversary for D-Day. Yeah. That's today, June 6th. I've been reading about, not watching it at my desk, a bunch of videos of all the paratroopers. There are guys now that are veterans. They're in their mid to late 90s that are actually
jumping
earlier, doing the jumps.
Yeah, it was awesome. I saw that this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable. So shout out to all of our veterans and anyone that's still around from World War II, from D-Day, because we're losing a lot of those guys every year. Yeah. And it's just simply amazing to think it's been 75 years. And I know you've been in Normandy.
No, that's
I've been there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If you haven't been there, you definitely got to go. The flyover this morning with the planes was pretty cool.
Yeah. But let's get into our show, GI Sports Live. Steve and Nick and Rab.
So we were trying to get Phil Ramirez from Team Cobra, one of our brigade commanders, on the show. Just had a little technical difficulties where we couldn't make that happen this show. So, Phil, we will get you on a future show. We apologize.
We'll connect with you. Also, we do have a video from Reaper, an interview I did with him, and we're going to touch base with him because he just got back, or should be getting back soon from the Euro Big Game, which just happened. And we're going to have some video and updates from that event as well. From all the videos I've seen and all the stories I've heard, it's just an epic event. So I'm looking forward to seeing that footage and sharing it with you guys. But let's jump into where you were this past weekend and talk about some of the teams over there.
Yep. So we were at the CPPS, England. Ainsley puts on an amazing event. The whole crew over there, he has a great setup, and it was a great weekend. No rain, which I thank England for. So thank you, England, because I was sick as a dog. But we have the winners here in the Elite Division. Lucky 15's Mustangs versus Lucky 15's, and it was
Wait, they played each other?
They played each other. And they both were fighting to get into the finals. It was close games with Sandbaggers and UK Jaguars, who finished third. So it was a great event. And as you can see there, we have Elite, Lucky 15's Mustangs, UK Jaguars. D1, we had the Wraiths, so congratulations to them. Because over there, Nick, in Division 1, when you win, you move up into the Elite Division. So
right away?
Yeah, right. If you win that event, you move up.
The next event.
And then team comes down.
All within the span of two events, you have that rotation of teams?
It just keeps going up and down from D1 to Elite. And if I'm wrong, someone post that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Well, I like that.
So the Wraiths won. Nicky Truder is coaching those guys. So he said their goal this year was to get a win, move on up, and they did. So you guys better start practicing. Congratulations to those guys. Skirmish Army.
So the Wraiths will now be in the Elite Division. Okay.
And then D2, we had the Sandbaggers. Those guys, bagging ain't easy, man. Leads and crew. He has quite a few sandbagger teams. So there's sandbaggers in the elite, D1, D2. They're everywhere. So they're sandbagging in every division. So they won Stokewest and Underdogs. Took first, second, third in D2. So, and in their breakout division, look at the bottom there on the screen there. If you look, their breakout division, Ainsley and like Gooch is doing in Asia, that he's got a beginner division to get these guys to start moving up into those next divisions, and they all move up to the D5 and up.
Is it 5-man or 3-man?
It's 5-man.
Okay.
So, again, great weekend. Lucky's pulled that off. We tried to get Ainsley on the show as well, but it's 2019, Ainsley. Every computer comes with a camera now.
He just needs to update. His excuse to us was that he didn't have a camera to use. He has everything else. I got Discord, I got headphones.
Got to have a camera.
But no camera.
So we will get him on the show here in the future.
We'll get him on the show. And shout out to him. And then shout out to Shattered Lens, who provided us with that video that you saw, that video clip of
if you want to see more,
the CPPS. But you can go to Shattered Lens, check out their Facebook page, posting up videos from the CPPS. And you know what? Look at that. Ainsley's in here. He's watching.
What's up, Ainsley?
That's great. Thanks for joining us,
Yeah,
Ainsley.
it was a great weekend. They have about 105 teams. He gets an average of between 100 to 120, depending on the time of year. So that's a lot of teams. And if it wasn't for him and his crew working hard, English Paintball would be in serious trouble. So thank God he's out there doing what he's doing for English Paintball, and gives places like Leads. He played over the weekend, and the guy lost it. Crazy maniac on the field. I was just laughing.
Leads lost it?
Leads lost it out there.
Did you get any video? Should have got some.
I do have some video, but I don't know if he wants me to put it out.
I do.
Okay, maybe a future show, but good to see a lot of the old guys playing out there. Just like here in the States, a lot of the old guys are coming out to play, and they are sandbagging in every division, but it's great to see them out there.
Well, at least they don't hide. They keep the name. So moving on from the CPPS, we jump into the USXPL.
Yeah,
and
that was there the weekend before.
That was the weekend before. So you went from Paintball Fit in Dallas.
Came home for a few days. Yep.
To London,
Yeah.
to whatever.
Yeah.
You went over to the UK
Yeah.
and did that. So the USXPL had some teams do good there. Those team numbers on the rise. You're always at all those events.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
That Paintball Fit, great facility, and as you can see here, some of the footage here. We had teams TOG.
Essentially, all the teams that won in Texas are now getting their second event and going and playing at the USXPL.
Yeah, and like I told the guys at the D3 captain, I said, we had different winners at the Dallas NXL event, and it's going to be a different winner today.
Yeah.
And the teams are real competitive, and it turned out that way. As we had two new placers in first and second, so Apex Predators took second, TOG took first, and I think Darren will have a awards flyer here that we could take a look at here when he gets to it. But that was a great weekend. Again, a lot of those teams that came out of Dallas NXL played the USXPL, and a lot of those teams, Shut Up or Trying won D5 5-man. They won D5 X-Ball here.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a repeat winner there. And Anunnaki, they won D4 5-man, but they didn't do as well as they wanted to. But again, the competition there at the USXPL, there's the winners right there. So D3 X-Ball, TOG, Apex Predators, D5 X-Ball, Shut Up or Trying.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's good to see and hear these same names. Going from what do you think your expectation would be if you've played an event or two at the USXPL, then you go to the NXL Dallas event, you win, and now you've got another USXPL event.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna be feeling pretty good. Like I'm a top dog walking there,
and
so I better perform.
Some of them did well, and some of them went in there and said, "Wow, the competition is good here. I thought I was going to do a little better, but it's tough there." So, and we'll see how a lot of these teams go into the Philly event, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So, again, another great weekend for paintball, back to back, and congratulations to all the teams at the USXPL and CPPS.
Yeah. Looks like some quality events. That takes us to the ICPL, 10-man mechanical at the Badlands.
Old school, new school.
Yeah, the one nice thing, though, there is, and this is something that has evolved with these 10-man tournaments coming back, is you could use an electronic gun, but you have to cap it at 5.5.
Okay.
So you can use any type of loader, mechanical, No one's using a gravity-fed loader, but we were at the Badlands, had some great competition, some great play out there from a lot of good teams.
I mean, go over some of the teams that were there, and then we'll get to the teams that made the finals. But go with the lineup.
I mean, you're looking at some of the teams right now on your screen. Adrenaline, who just brought back the Adrenaline Shocker, or created their own version of it. That was unveiled there. Northwest Row, guys from Portland, Oregon. I got to play with them. Fox for Darkside, that's Dave Painter. A bunch of people from Massachusetts. The Misfits, MB and his crew, and those guys are from all over the place.
Miscreants.
Yep. Desert Edge, Utah. I got to meet up with them. Shout out to those guys that helped me load up my dad's truck full of 80 cases of paint to bring
Cap
on
Factory
down.
had a team.
Cap Factory had probably one of the most star-studded rosters we've seen. They didn't do very well. But they had a bunch of pros from all across the U.S. California, Texas, East Coast. Desert Edge, as I said earlier, those guys are from Utah. Scottsdale Elevation had a handful of guys out there from Arizona. Farside, our main man John and his old school crew from Midwest came in and played. I think if they would have beat Infamous, they would have moved on. Infamous had a squad of both old and new players, and Archie Montemayor and Ryan Brand guested with them. Colt from X Factor played with Cap.
Dynasty had a squad there as well, right?
Dynasty had a squad. I mean, if you look at who's playing,
All-Americans.
The All-Americans were there. It's kind of ridiculous because if you look at all the teams that are playing, they're from every single part of the country. Every part of the U.S. is covered with teams. And I think there was a team from Puerto Rico or Mexico that came in. So 10-man, whether it's through what Tim Montresor or for the Gunfighters have done at Badlands years ago, to what Tim's doing for the ICC with now I think 72 teams coming up in August, and now the ICPL with their first event, and they had over 40 teams, close to 50 10-man teams. It's really saying something. And
it's allowing a lot of the guys that haven't played in a while to get back with their friends and get out there and run around and play paintball again, especially when they're playing in the woods and hyperball. So.
Yeah, there were two guys specifically I can think of, Gary Noblet and
Spud.
Billy
Saransky.
Bernaccia. No, kidding.
Saransky was
Billy
there.
Saransky. Yeah. Billy Bernaccia wishes he was there. He texted me and he was like, "Oh, you guys are playing?" Well, but Billy Saransky and Gary were playing, and Spud was there. But they said that they weren't going to play. Didn't think about it. Nah, Billy, I'm not going to bring any gear.
But he showed up.
He was wearing the jersey, and then 3/4 of the way through the day on Saturday, I look over and I see Gary's all suited up, and so was Billy. And so they went out there and they played, and it was really cool to watch.
Nice
to see those two guys that I grew up watching at the Badlands. But it wasn't so much watching; it was just being like hearing them yell and fight people, and then being like, I don't want to play against them.
So let's go into.
Oh yeah.
But we had a couple situations, which it's not surprising in 10-man because that's how it always was. That's what it was part of paintball. You got into it and you just dealt with it, and you policed yourselves a lot of times, and you weren't a baby about it. I would say other words here, but you just weren't a baby about it. And I heard, and I wasn't there, so you have to go into this. I heard that Lasoya, which doesn't shock me because I played with Lasoya for years, so a lot of the things that happened in paintball was always with Lasoya and Frank.
And sprinkle a little bit of Travis Lemansky in there.
So get into this because then Darren's got a picture of Frank on a Travis Lemansky situation back in the day. So this is great.
So Infamous and the All-Americans are playing, and we're waiting to play. We're on deck and we're out on the field behind the start gate, and Infamous is winning, and you could see the All-American players dropping. And Frank had made a move off to the left tape, kind of on high ground to slow down the attack of Infamous. And it wasn't happening because I'm watching Archie and I'm watching AJ Trillett and all these people come down the other side of the field. And all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and you hear screaming and shooting. And here comes, I see Frank literally turn and shoot Chris like point blank in the face, and Chris doesn't flinch, doesn't even he just turns and goes, blah, blah, F you, you're hit. And then Frank just explodes in yellow and pink paint because he's talking and he just shot. I mean, if we're teammates and I see you shoot my teammate from point blank after you're dead, and you're still on the field talking, well, I can do one of three things. I can ignore you, I can go over you and punch you, or I can just shoot the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And pardon my French, but that's what happened. And and Frank just turned all sorts of colors. So did pretty much any Philly All-American player that was there. And it didn't help that they were in front of the Philly Dead Box. But Chris came walking up. He had like 5 or 6 pink hits on him, still playing. It was just pandemonium. Frank's gun literally had to be ripped out of his hands. And shout out to Matt Marshall because he was out there. And guys, stay tuned to the Go Sports Instagram or Facebook page because you'll be seeing footage of this. Maddie got this covered. Arthur, our main cameraman,
he got this too.
He got Cap Factory. So that's kind of the shenanigans there. Right. Frank and Chris Soy going at it, but Cap Factory had Alex Goldman on the team, and we were playing on another field, and we hear all this booing and pandemonium from the other side. Well, apparently, not apparently, it happened. Arthur caught it on camera, but Miles gets shot in the loader and tries to wipe it off, and head ref walks in there and finds it and just starts pulls Tim Montresor, pulls Nick Laval, pulls Dave Baines, and it's right in front of the whole sidelines. Everyone saw Miles get shot in the loader and just try and wipe it off. I had some
old school 10-man. Love it.
I had some damn Canadian. We played against the Sea Dogs from Canada were there, and I watched this kid get shot in the loader as I'm walking off dead, and I go, "Hey man, you're hitting your loader." Giant pink hit. He looks at me, just wipes it right off, and I'm like, again, there's a couple things I can do right now. I can just shoot you.
It's only cheating if you get caught, right?
Right, and he didn't get in. Yeah. So he didn't get caught.
He didn't.
No, he walks by the refs.
So you told him.
I was like, "Come on, man, you're hitting the loader." He ignored me. He wiped off the hit, and then the ref said, "Well, if you wiped a hit, there'd probably be smudge there." I'm like,
"That's old school." Ron Kilborn.
Yeah, come on.
1995, Pittsburgh on the Mounds field, back corner. He gets hit. He looks to the crowd, says, "Am I hit?" Everyone says, "Yes, you're hit." He goes, "Cool." Wipes it.
Yeah.
And then takes off down the field, and then we're just.
Yeah. And if you're going to wipe off a loader hit, chances are there's not going to be anything.
Yeah.
In the case,
sorry, Ron Kilborn, I had to throw you out, but that's.
Hey, you know what? Tom Cole brought his name up. That was the best part about, and I'll tell you what. Hats off to the NXL because they had all the white tents were there. Every team you could buy a tent to go underneath. They had flags for every pro team. GI was there. Exalt was there. It looked like essentially a mini NXL
awesome.
National League X-Ball tournament. You had the registration booth. Eclipse, Exalt, DLX. So everyone was there. HK, everyone was there. It had the full setup, and it looked really nice. And there was Tom brought in a taco stand, and also the Badlands had their famous hot dogs readily available.
I was hoping to see this picture, old school picture of Travis Lemansky and Frank. I haven't seen it pop up yet, but we're hoping that it'll show up in the show here.
Well, what you just have to do then is just share it after the show.
I have to. If I get that's Frank. So it's weird. Frank is in a lot of situations over the years of paintball, and that's the end of Travis Lemansky's barrel. And he looks like, how many hits do you think he has right there?
I'm going to go with 30 plus.
Now, there's a video to this that.
Oh yeah, because that's a screen grab from a video.
There's a video to this.
He just always ends up on the wrong side of Travis Lemansky.
Yeah, it's like him and Travis, and that's been going on for years. So that's look at him. You can just see him. He's like,
and if these 10-man events continue the way they do, it'll continue to happen in the future.
Yeah, and I can't miss any more 10-man events. So
no, you cannot. But the next ICPL event will be happening in October in Orlando, and we do know that the ICC, the Iron City Classic that Tim Montresor is hosting, is going to be in Pittsburgh the last weekend of August. So 2 solid 10-man events coming up. I'm sure there's going to be a few more. Let's move on from that, though. We could spend a lot of time talking about old grudges and whatnot. But guys, stay tuned to Go Sports because they're going to have some more content from that event coming out for you guys, as well as I think the NXL. The Team USA men's roster was released.
Yeah, let's discuss that really quick. We talked about the older guys the last show. So these guys just came out. So.
Yeah, we've gone over the U19, we've gone over the women's, we went over the Masters, and now they just released the men's roster. Kind of a similar roster. There's one person that's not on the roster right now that does surprise me. But
there's 2 actually.
There's 2 for you?
Well,
one for me.
Alex Goldman, he's not on there.
Okay, yeah.
As a snake player, I would definitely want to have him. And Ryan Greenspan.
But
now, see, for a lot of people to know that they pick these guys off of the guys that attend and play overseas.
Yeah, so, these guys are all the players that you've seen throughout the years. No one's being flown out.
Right.
In the case of the other teams, these people they're paying for their flights. They have to make the trip on their own. And there is Team USA, that program does have a fundraising system.
Right.
You know, you as the USXPL donated money,
$1,000,
GIs donated stuff.
which I need to get that to Anthony. So I'm glad you brought that up. So like Archie plays on what, Kiev?
He's who's he playing for?
Him and
He's playing for the Golden State.
yeah,
Warriors or
he's on
whatever.
Golden State. Keith is on Kiev United with Tim. So that the players are picked from players that are over playing in the NXL Europe. So, but you know, Ryan's over there, Alex is over there. So maybe they just didn't want to play because last year a couple guys just didn't want to play. They wanted to concentrate on trying to get the win. So, but as you can see here, it's a pretty good roster. They did lose to the Russians last year. That was the first time the USA team has been defeated in a long time, and the Russians beat them last year. So we'll see what these guys can do this year. They added TJ Danner, which is nice. I like to see that.
Yeah.
TJ's been working hard to get his game up, and he's done that. So congratulations to TJ.
Yeah, I think the one thing you can say that's nice for TJ is that aside from Keith, and I'd have to check on that, almost every single person on this roster, aside from TJ and Keith, have played multiple times for Team USA.
Correct.
So it's good to see that those two guys are getting their spins and getting the recognition that they deserve
Yeah.
to represent the country. And like you said, Team USA didn't do well last time they played Team Russia.
Yeah, they lost.
No one's done well the last time they played any Russian team or the Russians.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that trend's happening right now.
yeah, it is happening. But that is our Team USA men's roster. So we look forward to seeing those guys play in September in
With
Amsterdam.
all the teams, you got U19, got the
U19,
ladies,
the women's and the men's.
the Masters.
Masters.
So this will be a great weekend to get out there and support Team USA.
Booyah. So also something that just dropped on Wednesday, the NXL Philly layout. Rab, you're a tactician.
What are you doing? Who are you playing this weekend?
We play San Diego Aftermath.
I think you guys are doing that. It's pretty much going on the whole year. You guys practice them the opening weekend, right?
Yeah, we've played them both times or both events.
So what do you think of this layout? I'm digging this layout.
I like it. I like that the 50s on the Dorito side and the snake side are mirrored in terms of looking at it, in this case, vertical. Well, here you go. On both sides, you can see that both sides have the two wedges. They both have two mini walls. So across the board, I like that because those bunkers, with how wide they are and big they are, being outset on the tape, outside of the Doritos, outside of the snake, will draw people to those 50 tapes. And I think you're going to see a lot of in-your-face bunkering,
nice.
Some quick action, and also up the middle with those two big bricks up the center. I think this field, if we could draw a circle around it, just that middle 50 in those 40s.
Everybody leave the start box and just run right to the 50s.
Yeah, I know. I did through BKI. I did a breakdown with Ryan Greenspan the other day, and if you go to Guns Up, which is what we use for Go Sports and for a lot of field walking, we highly recommend it. The back is kind of wide open, but there's not a lot of ways for me to engage you mirror to mirror. A lot of stuff is blocked out, so it kind of forces you to have to get closer. So I think this is going to be a great field. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get to practice this weekend and to see how it plays. And we've got Heat next weekend.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to it. Can't beat practice at X Factor Paintball Park.
No, you can't. Alex just that field keeps getting better and better, and he's going to add another building to the front there. I don't know if you know about it, but he's adding a whole building. I'm just putting it out there. Sorry, Alex. All right, so we're going to hop into upcoming events next, and that was the NXL layout. So we'll get some feedback from you when you get that practice this weekend against Aftermath.
Mm-hmm. See if they can win a game next event.
Yeah, I mean, they started off amazing, but hey, that's the pro division, man. You're going to, especially when you're a new team, they started off great, caught people slipping, and I think everybody's a little ready for them now, but I would imagine they're going to make a bounce back here. So, all right, upcoming events, we got in Oregon versus Washington at Splat Action Paintball Park in Maloya, Oregon, if I pronounced that right.
Sounded good to me. The big thing here for some of these events, too, is a lot of these events, the Oregon versus Washington at Splat Action, Brigade patch game.
Yep.
Coming up the 22nd through the 23rd, the 21st to the 23rd, we have the NXL Australia event. That's pretty big. We're hoping to get some more information from those guys, the results from Kai. I see him posting all the time. A lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah,
a lot of team growth.
I'm going to get out later in the year to get out to one of those. So I have not been to
Going
NXL
down under.
Australia, so I'm going to get there this year. That's the plan.
Yep. That same weekend, we have the NXL Philadelphia. Is it Philadelphia Open?
Yeah.
I'm just calling it the Philly Open.
Philly.
Open.
Yeah.
So new destination, no longer in Atlantic City, up north of Philadelphia, I think this is. So
Yeah.
kind of the opposite direction. But
Valley Forge area.
in Valley Forge, looking forward to see how this venue plays out, and be in the city of brotherly love. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll all be there together. Hatfields and McCoys at Elite Sports Complex in Salina, Kansas, also home of some USXBL events. We do, I think Jake Dixon is in the chat. We do hope everything is working out well for him there.
Yeah,
because
he's fighting the heavy flooding and storms that have been going through the Midwest in the last couple of weeks. So they had to postpone a USXBL event, which is you don't never want to postpone one, but half the city was underwater. His field is underwater. He's doing everything he can to get it together. So hopefully he can stop getting rain, Jake, and you can get your field together for this event for Hatfields and McCoy. So, and get a new hat, Jake. I gave you a hat. Put it on.
There's a fan of yours in the chat. He's asking, what's more famous, his gun or you?
Oh man, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that guy. He's useless.
So those are some of the events coming up this month, guys. In the month of June, Oregon versus Washington at Splat Action Paintball Park in Oregon. The NXL Australia event down in Victoria. Also the NXL Philadelphia event. And then the end of the month, Hatfields and McCoys at Elite Sports Complex in Kansas. We do want to make a big push and announce. I asked him.
Useless is a harsh word.
Useless. Billy Saransky in the house, folks.
Yeah.
Billy's talking about his gun versus Rab. That's a whole nother live show.
We'll do that show here in the future. We'll get back to that.
We'll sit down in one of your offices and go over it. But we also want to make a big push and let you guys know about Hawaiian Legends 2 that's coming up in July.
Great event.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, you need to go.
I hate you.
They got the sweetest treehouse in all of paintball.
They do.
It's amazing.
Our main man, Brigade Commander Ryan Sexton, will be there commanding the blue side. That's at Maui Paintball. Beautiful park.
Right. When you're standing out there, you're looking out, you see the ocean. I mean, it's a great view. You should go.
You should kick rocks. I hate you. I've been there. Can't wait to go again. Thanks for sending me. Rabstab.
Skirmish Invasion of Normandy.
Ion.
That's the biggest game in paintball. 4,000. They had 4,100 players last year. I would expect the same amount.
If there's any game that you guys could save up to go to, it doesn't matter what you play, recreational tournament scenario,
go to Ion.
Go to Ion. Save up, head out to Pennsylvania, play this game. It is awesome. There's so many people out there. There's tanks. There's everything. We got the French, the Germans. We got they reenact
the French resistance. They got everything out there.
It's interesting. We're going to talk about it. Invasion of Normandy. Like that's literally 75 years ago today. That event actually happened. And they treat it as such, like the 101st Airborne. We were talking earlier in the show about those guys parachuting in. They actually get to go in early in the game and get dropped off at a undisclosed location that their team doesn't know. Only like 2 people that run the game know where they're going to be dropped off. The Germans don't know. The Allies don't know. They don't know. But it's really cool. Holly suggests you guys go to Invasion of Normandy. Yeah, to Ion. And then at the end. Well, no, at the end, that same weekend in Michigan at Lone Wolf Paintball, it was the red, white, and blue game. And all 3 of those games are brigade games or patch event games. So you're going to have tons of people that you can connect with through the brigade program.
Great event. Gotta go.
Gotta go?
Gotta go. You'll be at that one. And then we have the red, white, and blue game.
Wait, you're sending me there? And
you're going to go there, and I'm going to go to Hawaii.
I knew. See? At least we have that recorded. It's on camera.
Red, white, and blue game at Lone Wolf Paintball on 7 the same weekend. So you can go to Lone Wolf.
You should go there. You should go back to your
hometown.
hometown.
I'll go to Lone Wolf. I'll go back to my hometown.
Okay, I'll be in Hawaii.
All right, so Darren should have we're going to debut right now our Dallas event video, our NXL Dallas video. This will be the first time that we put it out, and it'll be on YouTube afterwards, but we'll wait for Darren to cue it up. And this is our Dallas NXL event video.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, the mud. Yeah, put it up, Darren.
Ooh.
When you can. That should be it.
deep breaths, all right? Hey, in. Hold it. Feel this, boys, out.
Turn off the lights. They ain't so bright. Turn off the lights. They ain't so bright. Lights, please. Turn off the lights. For now, everything just seems so bright. And how you make the darkness seem so bright. I'm feeling like things gon' be alright. Lights, please. Turn off the lights. For now, everything just seems so bright. And how you make the darkness seem so bright. I'm feeling like things gon' be alright. Lights, please. Turn off the lights. Seems so bright. Seems so bright. Be alright. Turn off the lights. Seems so bright. Seems so
No words are needed, my friend. No words are needed.